Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant and dedicated for over 25 years now in educating, motivating, and hopefully inspiring people just like you in living your best life, having the best life experience, evolving to the best version of yourself, and ultimately, most importantly, being happy. Happiness needs to be the end goal. That needs to be the end goal for all of us, because that's truly what life is about and what life should be about. And if you're not in the right path towards happiness, you need to get the hell off the road you're on. I need to get on the right road. On these podcasts, I share tips, tools, strategies, stories, experiences, anything I feel will help you on your own personal journey. And I deal with questions that come in across social media and via email and our website as well on these episodes. So I hope what I share helps you. I hope you enjoy previous episodes. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I hope you enjoy and hope you become a fan and subscribe to us. So today I want to speak to you about a very simple goal setting process. Look, the bottom line is, if you want to change anything in your life like that, if it's aiming for happiness, if you want to get more happiness, or maybe you want to get more wealth, maybe that's happiness to you. Because the bottom line is, what happiness is to all of us is an individual perception. We're all different. We all want different things out of life. For some of us, it is about money. For some of us, it is about power and professional success. Others is about raising a good family and good kids with good morals and respect for others and with the right ingredients to go on and be successful within themselves. Other people have very simple needs. Some people want to have a couple of million in the bank. Others are happy having 10,000. Others are happy just getting by. We all have different perceptions, but what's important is, no matter what position you're in right now, you want more. Everyone wants more, and that's okay, because at a cellular level, we're either growing or dying. So no one should stay the same. And this where we have to change the conversation around the word greed and selfish, because there's a certain type of greed and selfish that is the essence of greed and selfish in the negative sense. But we also need to have a desire for better or more in terms of us evolving ourselves, new challenges, growing, becoming better, having a bigger, more positive impact. And we can only do that if we're achieving things, okay? And we can only do that too if we're happy within ourselves and have good self-esteem and confidence and self-image and all that kind of stuff. We're dedicated to making a positive impact in the world and on others. So there's nothing wrong with what some people would consider with that even as being a bit greedy, wanting more, a bit selfish when it's not. Same as prioritizing yourself. You need to prioritize yourself if you want to expand yourself and evolve into the best version of yourself, which in turn will mean that you will have a bigger impact on others. So sometimes you need to put yourself first. And that again isn't being selfish. So we need to change what we perceive as that. Instead of having a blanket that everything where someone's doing something for themselves is greedy and selfish, we need to look at it and identify difference, because different situations are and different situations aren't. So we need to look at that. So having goals is good. Everyone should have goals. Everyone should be looking for more. Everyone should be looking to push themselves. Like if you're currently 100% satisfied of where you are right now and literally do not want anything else to change for the better, you're very unique. You could be the first person in history to experience that. We all want a bit more. It could be that you want to get a little bit trimmer, get a bit tighter certain areas, develop certain muscles. You might want to be a little bit fitter. You might want to have a couple of less wrinkles. You might want to have more hair, better hair color. You might want to have more money. You might want to change career. You might want to change or improve a skill. You might want to have a better mindset and thought process, better energy. You might want to sleep better. There's so many different aspects, so many different areas that we can improve on all the time. And that's why, as I said, at a cellular level, we're either growing or we're dying. So those people who don't set goals and don't move forward towards goals and don't do anything to improve their lives, which is unfortunately and sadly, especially for them, a way too big percentage of the population. You just literally go through each day, no goals, no direction, no ambition, no drive, just basically living the same life day in, day out, pretty much deja vu until the day they die. And especially what tends to go with that is unhealthy lifestyle habits, which means either shortening your lifespan, or else even if you live a bit longer, it's not very high quality of life. You experience lots of diseases and so on and so on. So, we need to, again, live our best lives, become our best selves, have the best life experience we can have. That's what it's about, right? Isn't that what we're trying to do? That's what we all should be trying to do anyway. So we all should have goals in all different areas of our life. I always work with people in 4 different areas. You got your relationships, you got your mind, body, and health, you got your professional life, you got financial. Now, you may have other areas you want to include in goals. That's cool. Like a lot of people would have like spiritual goals. But whatever areas there are, have your areas. You should have goals in every area. And you should have one prime goal. So you'll have goals in general, number of different goals, and then you have your prime goal. So, we should have a vision of what we want our life to be like. So your life is as it is right now. Your life has been at different stages from when you were born up to this point. Some stages that were not as good. Maybe some stages were better. Some stages were around the same. But you are where you are right now. What is your vision for what you want your life to be like? What do you imagine your life to be like if it was exactly how you would want it to be, how you imagine it would be, if that would make you happy, feel fulfilled, and, be successful? What does that life look like? What does it look like in the areas of like relationships, mind, body, health, professional life, and financial area? What does it look like? So what's that vision? So we need to start off with a vision first. That's what your goal needs to be. You need to have that big goal. Okay, big overall life goal. Then in each of the areas, set those goals. Out of those goals, then pick what's the prime one I want to focus on right now. Okay, because you might have 5, 6 goals in each area of your life, but one of them is more important right now, if we were to list some priorities, than others. So we have to go, what is the number one goal right this moment? Because that's what matters most. So what is that number one goal? Have that number one goal for each of the 4 areas or however many areas. And then out of those goals, again, there'll be one particular prime focus goal that is the most important goal right at this moment in your life. It could be your relationships. Maybe you've gone through a breakup, divorce, you want to rebuild, or maybe you want to become a better relationship with yourself. Maybe you've realized you neglected yourself and, you're not in love with yourself. You need to do that. Maybe you're looking to have another relationship. Maybe it's a professional life where you want to change careers. You want to develop your own career as it is right now and climb the ladder. You want to maybe start a new business. Maybe you're struggling financially all the time. You want to increase a certain amount per week or per month. That's your goal. Or you might have a material goal of something you want to buy, a car, a house, a boat, whatever it might be. Maybe your health is at a certain level. Maybe your body's at a certain level. You want to improve it to a certain point, athletic performance, and so on. Your mindset too, getting it to a certain level. So, you've loads of different potential goals. We can have so many different goals, but there's going to be one that is far more important than all the others. To focus on what that goal is. Now, that doesn't mean you only work on that goal. It means that needs to get your main energy and focus and drive and concentration and time, but you can still have time for the other goals. But it needs to be one that gets your prime focus. Okay. That's that step. So you're going to take the wider vision of what you want in life to look like. Then in all the areas of your life, what are all the different goals you have in your life in all those areas? Then order those goals to priorities. Then identify the number one priority in each of the areas of your life. And then identify the one prime priority goal out of all of that. And you got your prime focus goal. Okay. Like I've got loads of goals in life. I've always had loads of goals in life, but there'll always be like right now, there's a particular goal that's more important than others, a particular area of my life that is the most important focus for me, which gets so much of my energy. And in time, when I get what I want there, or things maybe change, circumstances or whatever, or maybe I realize actually that goal isn't what I want, it's not as important as I thought it was, which happens sometimes to everybody, then my focus will shift to what another goal is, which might be in the same area of my life or a different area of my life. Does that make sense? But at every moment in time, you should have one particular area to focus on. So that's that point. That's where you get to there. Next step after that is, what are the required action steps to get there? Okay. What are the required, I'm going to put another one in before that. Forget what I just said there. We'll go on to that next. That'll be the next step. The next step in setting goals is, why do you want to achieve that goal? And you can have this again for all the different goals, but again, make sure you put the real time and energy and focus into your prime goal, your primary goal. Why do you want it? You need to put some emotional intensity behind it, because if you don't have emotional intensity behind a goal, in times of difficulty and challenge and obstacles and just laziness and procrastination, you will let those negative emotions win. You won't override them, because when you want to achieve success, you're going to be hit with constant obstacles and challenges and moments you just don't feel like doing anything. That's just normal. That's just what's going to happen. It's completely inevitable. And the bigger the goal, the more them is going to be. Okay. This is why working on yourself is so important, because you need to work on what's going on in your mind. Your mind's the control tower, and get your mind in a position where it's primed to deal with these challenges. So that's an important part of everything. That's why your mind is so, so crucial. And I stress about it so, so much. But what is your why? It's like for me, my why in nearly everything in my life for the last 16 years has been my son. Everything I do is for him, to provide for him, to be a good role model for him, be a good example for him, to give him a good life, to give him good life experiences, to get him nice Christmas presents or birthday presents. to be able to give him nice, just general experiences, to give myself the time freedom so I can spend time with him, to enjoy being with him, because time moves so fast and it doesn't wait for any of us. And before we know, especially with kids, time is gone. Like he's 16 and a half now. It feels like not that long ago that he was only born. So that's the way time goes. So for me, that's been my big driver. Before that, big driver was making a big difference. It still is a big goal for me right now, and it's a big why, but my big why right now more than anything else is my son. Before that, as I said, was making a big difference, and ambition, and part of it, ego and monetary goals and things like that. So I had different whys then to what I have now. But you have to have a why. You have to have something that drives you to get out of bed when you don't feel like it. I've had many times over the years, especially in times of, darkness and, troubled times, when I haven't even wanted to get out of bed. But I had to get out of bed because I had a big why. My son, I had to get out of bed. I had to do it for him. I had to provide for him. I had to be a good example, a role model for him, even if I didn't feel like it. What good was me just lying in bed all day, feeling sorry for myself? Was that going to help him? Was that going to be a good example for him when he hits dark times in his life? Also, we need a roof over our head. We need to be able to have food. We need to have clothes. How's that going to get provided if I don't get out of bed and get to work? So, he was my big why. So what is your why? What's your why behind that particular goal? Whatever that goal is, financial, professional, mind, body, health, your relationships. Like from the health perspective, you might have just had a heart attack. You don't want another one. You might be 10, 11 stone overweight. You can't play with your kids or grandkids. You want to be able to spend time with them and play football or whatever out the back with them and not be out of breath after 20 seconds. Now, that might be your why. What is your why? Have a why and have big emotional intensity behind it, because that is absolutely crucial. You need to have emotional intensity behind whatever your goal is. So, as I said, have the clear vision. Decide all your goals, all the areas of your life, rank them in priority in each area of your life. Then out of all the areas of life, what's the number one goal? And then that gets your focus. Then what's your why for that goal, and be very clear on it and write these things down. Remind yourself of these things regularly, because it's important that you do. Because if you don't remind yourself regularly, it's easy to lose the fire. And when you feel the fire going out, go back and remind yourself of your why and remind yourself of your goal. It's so, so important. Now, next step then is to actually decide on that primary goal. What are the steps that are going to get you there? How are you going to achieve that goal? What are the required action steps? Like climbing the stairs. I always compare it to stairs. What are all the steps you need? The step after that then, which is the most important part of it, and probably most important part of everything. All those steps, some of them are far off, some of them are soon. What's the next one? What is the very next one? That is what all your focus and energy has to go into. You have to pull things right back to that point. What is the next step that I can take to move me closer to that goal? Same as going up the stairs. You want to get up to your bedroom. There's 100 steps up to your bedroom. You have to get your left or right foot on that first step. That is the very next step that you need to do. And until you do that, you're not getting closer to your bedroom. So no matter how much you want to go to sleep and lie down in your bed or whatever you want to do in your bedroom, you ain't going to experience it until you put that left or right foot on that first step. So in whatever goal that you've picked now, with emotional intensity behind it because you're why, what is the next step you have to take? And do you know what's after that? Action. Go out there and take that next step. Take that next step. And then after that, when that's completed, what's the next one? What's the next step after that? And just keep that mindset. What's the next step, the next step, the next step? Because too often people think too far ahead. And they're thinking about what they need to do too far ahead. And it becomes overwhelming. And they're thinking of all they have to do just to get to that point, to get close to the goal. And it's very off-putting. And like I said, overwhelming. So instead, what we need to do is we need to come right back to what's the very next step. And then that becomes realistic. That wipes out all excuses, because you can definitely take the next step, whatever that may be. And if you don't take it, then you've only got yourself to blame. Does that make sense? And after that, then it's just about consistency and patience. And day after day, just getting better and better and keeping consistent. And again, dealing with the inevitable, frequent obstacles and challenges that are going to come your way. You're going to get many of them. The bigger the goal, the more obstacles and challenges, and the bigger the obstacles and challenges. But this is where your mindset comes in. Focus on creating an impenetrable mindset. That's the most important thing for all of us to do. This is why I stress so much about working on your mind every single day. Exercise your mind, listening. What are you listening to? Who are you exposing yourself to? What are you exposing yourself to? Limit negative energy, limit negative information. Stay away from TV, stay away from media, stay away from radio, papers, stay away from negative people. Blast your mind with positivity, because that's the only way you're going to get to be positive. Does that make sense? So keep focused on all that. That's a simple goal setting process you can apply to any goal you have in your life, and you will achieve success once you're consistent and patient. So again, we have the big vision, where it is you want to be in life. Ultimately, what if you clicked your fingers right now or went in a time machine or whatever, and you were in your ideal life in all aspects, what are you looking at? What does it look like? Then in each, looking at that, what goals you have in each of the areas of your life to create that reality. Then what's the most important goal out of each of the areas of your life? Then out of all the areas of your life, what's the number one most important goal out of all of them? Then what's your why that attaches emotional intensity to that goal? Why do you need to achieve it? What's the impact it's going to have on you and your life and others? Why is it so important to you? Why is it crucial in your life that you actually achieve that goal? So what's your big emotionally backed why? What are the steps to get to that goal? And then what is the very next step? And after that, the final thing, get into action mode, take action, complete that step, go on to the next step, and keep thinking, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? And then just be consistent and be patient, and success will be yours. It's inevitable. It's guaranteed. This is why whatever you want in life, you can have it. We all can, but we just have to implement a strategy and process like I've just outlined. We have to keep consistent and patient, and we have to stop making excuses, and we have to stop playing the blame game, which is what happens too much. Okay, so that's this episode of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that simple goal setting process. I hope it helps. Let me know your feedback. Leave us a rating and review on the podcast platform. Will be fantastic. Share this out to anyone you feel it would help, because the more and more people that can listen to these messages, the more people can be impacted, and I can only impact so many people myself. If you can share it to your circle, that'd be fantastic. And keep your suggestions, your feedback, your comments, your questions, anything you want to add to any of the topics of any of the podcasts, let me know. Contact me across all social media via messages, on email, on the contact page, on the website, whichever. Here to help any way I can. Dedicated to educate, motivating, and hopefully inspiring you to be the best you can be and live the best life you can have. That's it for this episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast. For myself, Dave Sheahan. Have a good one. Keep focused. What's the next step?